I didn't write one single line of code, and I have a working application that I can modify in like no time at all.
while you're
So
doing something else.
while I'm doing something else, I mean, all right, it started with like Grok and ChatGPT, and they were like kind of an assistant, you know. So if I had a question about something, I would go and I could put it in Grok. If we needed some query written, um, like Grok and ChatGPT, they were really great for writing queries and getting our team to optimize queries and getting those types of things correct. So like I wanted to build a complete application. So this PokerStars thing I'm talking about is kind of a hard thing because it's a Windows application that I need to be able to have a web application interacting with and pulling data from where PokerStars does not want you pulling data. It's actually against their terms of service. So I'm not selling this product that I built. I just kind of use it. Um, but it's actually a very difficult problem. So my thinking was if a tool can solve this difficult problem, it's probably going to work out pretty well. So I kind of set this as my benchmark to build this PokerStars thing. Set out using Replit. So the promise of Replit is that you write your prompts, it delivers a web application or a mobile application for you and that you can deploy to production. So the first thing that I did was try to create my PokerStars app in Replit. Um, it didn't work. It could not figure it out. And I've spent many, many hours trying to get Replit to make this thing work. Deployment for Replit was like kind of unclear, to be honest. Replit was really good for creating like prototypes for my team. So if we wanted a new feature in our software, I could use Replit to prototype how I wanted that to work, and then pass that off to our development team, who could then develop that software. So it was actually really good for scaffolding these ideas and making, very clear instructions for our development team on how we wanted something created. So I started using Replit for that, and it actually worked fairly well. So when I introduced this to our team, uh, I found out that some of our developers were already using tools. So they were using Cursor, and Cursor was doing like auto completes for them, help finding them where code interacts with other pieces of code, um, and and they were starting to see some productivity improvements from this. So three of them were already using it. Honestly, I didn't know that they were using it, but they were using Cursor, and it was actually doing fairly well for them. And this is where we talk about like autocomplete functions and how they were able to get some productivity in that respect. And then there was a tool called Lovable, which is supposed to be like Replit, but better. So it's the same thing. You write a set of prompts, you get your app out, you release to production. And I tried that with my PokerStars app, and it could not figure out how to make that work. It could not figure out it can't figure out the scraping, to be honest with you. It can't figure out how to do that. So this tool failed miserably, and it was good for creating like prototypes and stuff like that, but I was already using Replit, so why bother switching there? So we just stuck with Replit and ditched the Lovable. Then I found about this tool called OpenClaw, and this was right when the name changed from I forget
Molt book.
what was it, Claude Book?
They're called Molt
Oh
book.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was right when it changed from Molt Book to OpenClaw is when I first read about this in an article, and I thought, okay, I am going to try this. Let's see, maybe this will solve my problem. And it was the implementation of OpenClaw that kind of introduced me to, the Anthropic tools, as opposed to just ChatGPT and Grok. So what would OpenClaw do for me? Um, well, it was supposed to be able to install it on anything. So I found an old computer that I had laying around and I installed it. And a consistent way to work with these AI tools. So essentially, this was a coordination tool, which would reach out to other AI tools. And so I had this connected to multiple tools. So I had it connected to, you'll see here like two Anthropic tools, so two Anthropic models, both Opus and Sonnet. I connected it to Gemini, and I connected it to Grok. And this was like not an easy task. It was kind of really difficult to get it to connect to all of these tools. And it might be easier now. I don't know because I'm not using OpenClaw anymore. But um, this was a great introduction. And so what did this do for me? Well, this thing helped design how we were going to build my PokerStars tool. So obviously I can't just set my team free on OpenClaw and just say have at it, have fun, and hopefully that'll create some productivity for you. I needed to try this first and make sure that it worked. So when I first prompted it, I also asked it to ask me any questions. So what did it use? It used Sonnet. It uses the Anthropic tool of Sonnet, and it went out and it created a plan of how it was going to do this stuff. Um, and so what I did is I thought, all right, this Poker Stars thing is a little hard. I'm just going to have it do like just a hand analyzer. So what did I do? I built a mobile app using the using OpenClaw, which was then using these other tools to create this thing, and it worked. It worked really really well. So when I asked it to build this thing, it planned out a strategy. It wanted to use different tools to do different things. So it was going to use Expo, which is like you build a Node.js app, and then it uses Expo to create both an Android and an iOS version of a mobile app. And I'd never heard of these things before, and OpenClaw used these tools to figure out the best mechanism to build this thing out. And then it used the Opus model to actually build the application. So what was really interesting, and I thought was amazing, is that this thing interacted with the Telegram app on my phone. So one night I was playing poker and I was using my little hand analyzer, and I thought of another enhancement. So I pulled up Telegram and I posted a prompt to my Telegram. It went and it did it. It told Opus to go and build that enhancement. It pushed that up to GitHub. Uh, then I logged into Expo. I told Expo to grab it from GitHub and create a new build. And in like 30 minutes, sitting at a poker table, I had a new build of my software on my phone. And I thought this is like one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. I didn't write one single line of code for this entire application. I don't even know how to write code anymore. I didn't write one single line of code, and I have a working application that I can modify in like no time at all.
while you're
So
doing something else.
while I'm doing something else, I mean, it was this was really like a game changer for me in having an understanding of this.